Hi, this is Eric Martin with BoardGameGeek News. I'm here looking at Marc-André's Splendor, first publication from Space Cowboys, French publisher, and artwork by Pascal Quidot. That's very nice, very attractive. Just want to pose in front of the box. Look at the gems. The box doesn't have too much in it, but what is in it is very carefully packaged. Here's the setup for a 4-player game in Splendor, where we have 3 decks of cards. We lay out 4 cards of each type. We have poker chips with 5 types of gems on them. We have a joker gem, different types. And then we have some tiles up top, personality tiles that we're trying to attract. On a turn in Splendor, you take one of 4 actions. You can take 3 chips of different colors, and you put them in your collection of chips. You can have at most 10 chips over here. You can take 2 chips of the same color, but only if there are at least 4 chips of that color on the side. You can take a joker chip, and then you take a card of your choice, either from the array or from the top of a deck, and put it in your hand. Okay. You are now the only one who can build this card. Okay. The other thing you can do is actually buy a card, okay? Either from your hand or from one of the cards on display here. And you do that by paying the cost in chips. So if I want to pay this, it costs 1 white, blue, 1 green, 1 red. Blue, green, red, and why not a joker? You take this card, I put it in front of me. Okay? Some cards have a point value on them, and when you acquire that card, you have that point. Each card has a gem, and those gems match the gems that are on the chips. When you acquire a card, you put it in front of you, and now you get a discount off the purchase of future cards. So if I had these cards in front of me and I wanted to buy this card, well, I already have a black, a red, a green. All I need to do is pay a white, and then this one adds to my collection. As you acquire cards in Splendor, you pile them up in front of you, and you can sort them by types. And of course, the more gems you get, the bigger the discount when you buy the more expensive cards. More expensive cards, of course, are worth more points. Okay? The cards in the first deck, relatively easy to acquire. They just get your engine going. Maybe they give you a point sometimes. But as you escalate to bigger and bigger cards with higher cost, then you get bigger points. You've got one other reason to collect cards, and namely that's these personality tiles. You acquire these tiles as soon as you have cards in your collection that match what's shown on each of these tiles. I got 4 white, 3 blue, 2 green. If I acquire another green, I've got 3 of each. I get this, which is worth 3 points. Get another blue, I got this, which is worth 3 as well. Turns in Splendor are very fast. You take 1 of 4 actions, that's it, that's your whole turn. Take 3 different chips, 2 chips, same color, joker, reserve a card, buy a card, boom, next player. Those turns add up, and you start building an engine. Splendor at heart is really an engine building game with nothing else. There's no frills, there's nothing else that you're doing with this engine except get 15 points. The game ends the round that some player gets his 15 point. You finish the round so everyone has the same number of turns, you compare points, whoever has the most points wins, and the tied player with the fewest cards wins. That's it. That's all there is to it. So, you look at the tableau of cards laid out in front of you, you start looking and see what can I get first, what can I get second, what can I do, but of course those cards are going to be changing all the time. Both because you're buying them and other people are buying them, and because you're reserving the ones that you want before someone else can build them. You also have to keep in mind the tiles that are going to give you bonus points. These are laid out at the start of the game. Again, you have 3, 4, or 5 tiles based on the number of players, and you want to look at them across and say, lots of blue, lots of white, lots of green. Maybe I can focus on taking those and then pile up the points ahead. But of course, everyone else is going to do that too. So you have to figure out, are you going to fight them for those, or are you going to go the other route? Just as cards are in short supply on the table, chips are in short supply as well. You can hold at most 10 chips. You have 7 chips of each color in the game, but only if there's 4 players. If you have 3 players, there's only 5. If you have 2 players, there's only 4. And you can take 2 chips of a color only if there's 4 there, meaning no one has even touched it. Most of the time, as people start taking chips and piling them up in front of you, you'll have a limited option of what's even there to take. And of course, you can be trapped. There's no jokers. You don't want to reserve a card. Maybe you've got your hand filled. You can have at most 3 cards in reserve. If you've got a full hand, you can't take any more. If the chips aren't there, for what you want, when the cards aren't there for what you want to buy, you are screwed, my friend. There's nothing that you can do except, take stuff that doesn't matter, discard down the 10 chips, and hope there's stuff there for you the next time. So don't get in that position. You have to reserve cards in advance and plan your building and see what you want to build. I'm going to build this blue, which is going to be a discount on this next card, which is going to be a discount on this next card, and I'll shoot for this goal, and it hopefully clear a spot in my hand. So if something else comes up, I can reserve it. In 15 minutes, you're done. So I first got a taste of Splendor at Spielwarenmesse 2013. This is the trade show at Nuremberg, so more than a year before it's even released. Had a little sample there with just numbers and colors. Of course, that's kind of what the game is, the number of colors. It's got this theme here with this dude looking very impressive, checking out this gem. You don't have to spend a lot of time worrying what he's thinking about. You just want the cards. That's all it is. Cards and chips, cards and chips. So I tried it out again a couple times later at Gen Con 2013. And I love it. It's a very potato chippy game where you're just digging in little bit by bit by bit. Ooh, a little dip here, a little bit here, some salsa, a little flavoring. I don't know. I'm gonna mix all the stuff up. And then finish and start again. Right? Pretty much always play, shuffle, start again. You draw on more people, you add more chips, you add more tiles, shuffle everything out and go again. And it works marvelously for the level of simplicity that it has here, because it's very interactive in terms of people stealing stuff from each other, you wanting to plan, you taking the cards that other people want with your limited slots to hold those things back and reserve, or just keep them from building it if you don't want them to have those points. And you just go through it very quickly and then do it again. And all the time, while you're trying to think about build that engine and just ramp to 15 points and win. Unless you're playing me, in which case you will lose.